Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice. We're going to take another look at the impending Imperial Guard pre-order with more details of the codex and units. So let's take a little look at artillery barrages, mechanized assault, and stealth tactics. Stealthy Imperial Guard, I like where this is going. Let's get into this. Link in the description below if you want to read it yourself. The Astra Militarum have as many approaches to war as they do enemies in a hostile galaxy. Codex Astra Militarum expands your options in combat with 4 new detachments. It's only 4. That's less than every other book, isn't it? Wow, okay, that's... I suppose the units that we saw yesterday, the infantry units, have the flavour of each world that they're from, the Cadian, the Kachan, the Krieg. The units kind of specialise in that, so you don't need a Cadian detachment, a Krieg detachment. Not sure how I feel about that, we'd have to see. Anyway, 4 new detachments, adding to the Combined Arms detachment from the Index. Okay, so that's 5. And then there's the Bridgehead Strike detachment that I loved, that came with the Grotma's calendar. So they do have 6, but they... Right, 4 new, then the Index one will be reprinted in the book, with whatever changes they need to do, and then you've got the Bridgehead as well. Right, okay, so that's not too bad. And the Combined Arms Index detachment feels more like the bog standard Cadian one to me. Yeah, okay, that sounds better. Mechanized Assault is the pick for those who love the sound of gunned engines and grinding treads, as heavily armoured transport dispense close-up shock troops right into the heart of the enemy forces. For those who find the idea of even stepping foot on alien worlds a bit gauche, Hammer of the Emperor favours armoured spearheads made up of thundering tank squadrons, emboldened by the new Rogel Dawn commanders. And that is a lot of tanks, a lot of artillery there. Even, is it the Sword Blade that has the Gatling cannon? I mean, that's going to put out so much DACA. And the big Bane Blade, Long Blade, I don't know what the different variants are, but Bane Blade stuff, Bane Blade chassis, that is such a cool tank. Limb and Rust just looks a bit small for me, but I've never built one. The kit might be gorgeous, but I'd love to see something. Not necessarily a new tank, because they got one of those in 9th, but some sort of upgrade to the Lehman Russ. Somebody 3D prints sponsons that are actually inside, like slightly smaller sponsons, and that makes it look a little bit sleeker. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. But I'd love to see the Lehman Russ get a redesign at some point. I know I'm going to get flack in the comments. That's just how it is. It is an iconic tank. I think it could be better. I think it could be cooler. That's all I'll say. With the Death Corps of Krieg increasing their presence within the Astra Militarum, the Siege Regiment fits their attritional combat doctrine like a bespoke gas mask. Artillery support allows you to pummel foes with ear-splitting salvos that send their organised advances into staggered disarray with a creeping barrage, or eradicate cover with an incendiary bombardment ahead of your own counter-assault. For a more subtle artillery application, smoke shells provide you with stealth. Okay, particularly potent against enemies that specialise in ranged defence. Looking at you, Tau. That's really cool. I like that idea. Detachment rule for the Siege Regiment Artillery Support. At the start of the battle round, select one of the following types of artillery support. Creeping Barrage. Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit that is more than 12 inches from every model from your army that is on the battlefield. On a 5-up, until the end of the battle round, that unit is shaken. While the unit is shaken, subtract 2 from its move characteristic and 2 from advance and charge rolls. Nice early game, but that's quite nice. Movement shenanigans is brilliant. Incendiary Bombardment. Select a number of enemy units more than 12 inches from every model on your army that is on the battlefield. Until the end of the battle round, those units are scattered. While a unit is scattered, it cannot have the benefit of cover. The maximum number of units you can select in this way depends on the battle size as shown below. So, 1,000 points 2 units, 2,000 points 3 units, 3,000 plus is 4 units. And finally, smoke shells. Select a number of units from your army. Until the end of the battle round, those units have the stealth ability. The maximum number you can select is on the table shown below. We've just gone through that. So you can have a sneaky advance, you can try, it's on a 5-up, so it's not going to happen all the time, but you can try and subtract movement. It's very strong, so I think 5-up is fair. or you can just remove the benefit of cover for a selection of units that have to be more than 12 inches from every model. So that's kind of like you set up a gun line, you let them come to you, and the stuff that's feeding in from their back lines, you hit that and deal with the stuff coming in to slow their advance. Yeah, that makes sense. I kind of like that. Despite the name, you aren't required to take big field guns in your army list, as the focus is firmly on off-map support from even bigger guns. Think orbital gunship, just dropping Mac rounds, softening up targets for your infantry advanced enabled by over-the-top. Commissars of siege regiments know that callous sacrifice is inevitably required, and with soaring shells and explosions ringing in their ears, a unit will fire their whole component of weapons at point-blank range, ready to give their lives in the process. So what have we got here? Over the Top is a 2CP strategic ploy. When start of your command phase, select one infantry officer model from your army. Until the end of that phase, when your model issues a move order, you can issue that order to any number of eligible friendly infantry units, regardless of range to your model. So for 2CP, you can issue move to any number of eligible friendly units. They don't have to be in line of sight. You can just say, all of the troops move up. That's quite useful. Or Callous Sacrifice is a 1CP battle tactic stratagem. When you're shooting phase, target one platoon unit from your army that is within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Effect: until the end of the phase, enemy units are not considered to be within engagement range of your unit for the purposes of selecting targets for ranged weapons. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy model loses a wound, while that unit is within engagement range of your unit, roll 1d6. On a 4-up, one model from your unit is destroyed after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. Oh, I love that. Risk reward. But if you really need a unit dead and you've been charged and you're trapped somewhere, you just pop that and go, I'm sacrificing this unit, but I'm taking you with me. And you just point blank gun them, or try to point blank gun them down. And a guardsman's life is cheap in the 41st millennium, isn't it? So you should be using that every turn. Such powerful ordnance must be protected at all costs, and before engagements, sappers lay a deadly minefield onto the battlefield. Coupled with a creeping barrage, this can leave an enemy with nothing but a face full of explosion. So minefield is 1CP and it's a war gear stratagem. When start of your opponent's charge phase, select one platoon unit from your army. Effect: until the end of the phase, each time an enemy unit ends a charge move within engagement range of your unit, roll 1d6 for each model in that enemy unit. For each 5-up, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound up to a maximum of 6 mortal wounds. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's a potential charge, like counter-charge threat, isn't it? That's not awful. Not every Astra Militarum army favours this approach. Some instead opt to outwit and outflank their enemies. Recon element detachments are masters of camouflage, using face paint, vehicle netting and disruptive camo patterns to grant their infantry and walkers the advantage of cover even when out in the open. Those that dig in are even harder targets, able to boost their save further. Okay, so this is more all-encompassing for units, but this is the Tanithi vibe, I think. Detachment rule: for the recon element, masters of camouflage. Astra Militarum Walker and Regiment models from your army have the benefit of cover. While such a model has the benefit of cover for any other reason, e.g. because it is wholly within ruin, improve the save characteristic for models in that unit by 1 to a maximum of 3+. Okay, yeah, I mean, boosting saves and things is always nice, and the benefit of cover is quite nice just to have anyway, especially on walkers, because walkers can be devastating. Infantry platoons and striding sentinels allow this force to react swiftly, and 5 out of 6 of their stratagems let you respond to enemy maneuvers. Courageous Diversion allows an aggressively positioned unit to soak enemy fire, while Scramble Field can be used to shut down enemy units that are attempting to deep strike near key target. Courageous Diversion 1CP, it's a strategic ploy. When start of your opponent's shooting phase, target one Astra Militarum infantry or mounted unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, your unit has the Feel No Pain 6-up ability, and each time an enemy model makes an attack, if your unit is the closest eligible target, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Okay. And Scramble Field, 1 CP Wargear Stratagem. When start of your opponent's reinforcement step, target 1 Astra Militarum infantry unit from your army. Effect: until the end of the phase, enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches of your unit. So it's a 1 CP 12-inch denial, area of denial. Okay, I think that's stronger than certainly I think that's quite strong. And it definitely fits this vibe of what they're going for with this stealthy detachment. Mounted infantry flank to support your core fighting force, with scouting outriders able to leave the battlefield and re-engage from an oblique angle, with death riders and Attilan rough riders threatening exposed enemy units with a devastating charge. So scouting outriders is a 1 CP battle tactic stratagem. When end of your opponent's turn, target 1 Astra Militarum mounted or walker unit from your army that is wholly within 10 inches of 1 or more battlefield edges and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Effect: remove your unit from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserves. I'm liking what we're seeing with all of these, with these 2 detachments. I'm preferring the sneaky one, because it's more the units that I would use. That's nice. Uppy downy horses and walkers and uppy downy sentinels. Okay. Yeah, that's threatening. Very threatening. Codex Astra Militarum is available in the Death Corps of Krieg army set, which goes on pre-order on Saturday, including some new Krieg units that can be put to work in any of these detachments. The Codex will be released separately soon after. I wish that they would just do the fancy Codex in the army book, and then they'd just release the normal Codex as well. So if you don't want Death Corps or Krieg, you can still get your new rules. Not that the rules will be legal because it's not a wide release still. You know what I mean. I like this though. I like what I'm seeing here. Alright, 4 detachments was a little bit alarming at the start. But if the detachments are like this and quite fun, themey for each one, but fun. And then you've also got the Index detachment that's sticking around or being tweaked. And the Grotmus one, which I loved. This is cool. This is good. I'm liking what they're doing. I'm interested to see more. They usually just do the 2 article previews, don't they? We'll see. We might get more. It's Wednesday today, so we have 2 more WarCom article days before the Codex goes up for pre-order and it's forgotten about. So hopefully we'll be back with something else. I'd like to know more about command squads and characters. I'd love to know what Gaunt's Ghosts can do, but that'll be a Codex thing. Yeah, no, this is looking good. From my current knowledge of 40k, which is minimal, all of this is actually sounding quite useful. We haven't seen all of it. This is just a sneak peek and they're showing you what they want you to see to get you excited. But all in all, I'm looking forward to this, and I actually think I may pick up the Codex on its own. We'll see. I have a soft spot for the Guard. I miss the Elysians. I've always wanted to do a drop force, and I've just never really had the models to do it. But, you know, it's... potentially, this could pull me back in. And for 40k, I'm thinking more 11th than 10th, because there's so much more that I'm enjoying more. But if in the background we can start to build some stuff and get a couple of armies together ready for the channel, then we can go into 11th, hopefully excited, and we see what happens. Guard players, let me know what you think of what we've seen here. I think that this is pretty good. I don't think that it's game breaking, or, you know, overpowered, or I don't think it's weak though. I think there's some nice stuff here, but it all depends on the units that you're using it with, and we're not going to know. Uppy Downy Horses is brilliant. I really like that. That might be one of my favourite things. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.